Check.
We are live.
Tight.
Whoa. How's it going, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. We've had some drastic things happen with the climate.
Dude, shit's been crazy out here in Colorado.
Did you guys see the Facebook post that's been going around? It's just like fire all around like Colorado, and then just like a strip of snow
It says
coming
ice,
down, and it's literally fire right here and snow.
and then it says fire on the right
It's
side
just yeah.
Is it like a Game of Thrones ad, like fire and ice?
No, it's what's actually happening to the world.
It's true life.
Well, you know, I know we mentioned a few weeks ago we went up to Winter Park and how crazy that was, and it looked like a volcano. Literally, when the sun was setting, we saw that giant. You know, what do they call it? A
blue,
not a pillar of smoke, but a
plume.
spire, a plume, yeah, something like that. Either way, that was pretty crazy. And then just recently, I felt like it was starting to clear up a little bit. And then there was one in Fort Collins that just started, right? Which is only 50 miles north of us. Yeah. So the other night, it was one of those sunsets where the sun just looked eerily red and it was like glowing all around it. It's been fucking crazy.
It's very apocalyptic.
There's some crazy pictures going around of the Cameron Peaks one because of the eeriness and everything. It's just straight orange and then just like dark gray.
I feel like we're in a Mad Max movie or something.
I think you had your car in the garage, but me and Austin's car was covered in ash.
Was it really?
Yeah, covered.
I left my sunroof open and like the entire inside of my car was covered in ash.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in Winter Park, you guys were like, dude, it's literally snowing ash out or like raining ash. And I was like, no, that's not ash. It's just something. And then I was like, oh my God, that is definitely ash.
It's very humbling.
It's crazy.
Just seeing like Mother Nature will fucking fuck you up.
And the Cameron Peak one is already at 100,000 acres in like 4 days or some shit.
Is it really?
And so it's probably in the top 5 now in history.
That's the one that's straight north of us?
Yeah, that's by Fort Collins. That's why it's was raining ash at our house.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's not too far off. We're in North Glen, which is 12 miles north of Denver.
Yeah.
And
then I think Fort
Josh
Collins
was
is like
saying,
an hour still.
Our friend was saying it was raining ash in Denver.
Yeah.
Well, I swear to God, just in our backyard the other day, I saw it raining some ash.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. These are the largest fires in Colorado history. Am I right about that?
Like the Pine Gulch one, which is still burning, is the largest. And then, that's by Grand Junction, I think. And then the Cameron Peak one's got to probably be in top 5 or top 10 at least now, which is Fort Collins.
You know, I've only lived here, excuse me, for 7 years now. And it's obviously the craziest fire experience in the state that I've had so far living here. But I've even talked to people that have lived here their whole lives that are like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. My students that I asked the parents, they've lived here their whole lives, and they're like, it looks like I've never seen anything like it. Like, it's just so apocalyptic.
It's like whatever
and
direction
the
you
fires
look to,
are just crazy.
like
it's
smoke.
way worse than any other time in history.
Yeah, definitely.
Known history.
Do you guys think this could be some sort of omen for the second coming of Satan or something like that? Or the first coming of Satan?
I just don't understand.
It's got to be something similar.
But think about the perfect storm. The things that's happening in society. We have a pandemic happening. We have natural disasters out the ass now.
We're about to be in a presidential election.
Yeah, it's the year of presidential.
This country's about to explode.
It's
even
literally
more.
A perfect storm of craziness, and I just don't understand.
It's wild.
That's why I like this basement. We can just keep hermiting down here.
We'll be safe here.
We'll be
No
safe.
matter what happens, we just got to do what we got.
The National Yellow Park volcano goes off, then we're fucked.
Yellowstone, you're saying?
Yellowstone, yeah.
If the super volcano in Yellowstone explodes,
fucked.
we're all
We were
fucked.
just talking about that the other day, what we would do and shit. It's like...
Find someone that's got one of those panic bunkers or like a doomsday prepper.
Dude, I am building the world's dopest underground facility if that shit happened.
with what money?
You're going to build it if it happens? When it happens, you're going to build it? That's the thing,
when
man.
When it happens, you're just going to whip this shit up?
Dude, I'm going to go Bob the Builder on that shit.
Bob the Builder, shout out.
I hope so.
I'm going to be like the next guy that beat the fucking machine through the mountain.
Well, it's funny. I always said I would go to Winter Park, and stay there if shit hit the fan. But being there during the fires, I'm like, it's no better there, man. You're surrounded by forests.
Yeah, you're even closer to the mountains.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so I don't know about Colorado, but my friend might have been Liam. Yeah, I think Liam, who we had on the podcast last week, he was saying that the actual fire season in California doesn't really get bad until October or something like that.
I can see that.
Or I don't know, but
And right now it's like on fire. It's worse in Colorado, I think.
yes, but I guess to shift gears a bit, but it's totally still relevant. We had snow yesterday.
Yes. We had like record highs.
Or today.
Record highs, I think, a couple days ago of temperature, and then it snowed literally 2 days
It was literally like 96 degrees on Monday, and then it fucking snowed on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That is an insane shift.
It was the most drastic temperature change in Colorado history. So, like, shit's getting crazy in Colorado. Like, weather's
I mean, it's always drastic weather here as far as go, but that's just absurd.
Yeah. And then it's going to be back up in the 80s in a couple days.
Back
That's
up,
insane.
back
Yeah.
up in the 80s.
My
That's
parents
crazy.
are coming in like a week, and it's supposed to be like 85, they said.
Nice. Well, it's good your parents are coming out to see
I
you.
know, I'm excited to see them.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Good old Jeff and Lisa.
my mom said my dad's been like packing a bunch of just crazy shit, just anything he could think of because he's so excited. He said he brought like a bow, shooting target so we can shoot the bow at. Fucking, he's brought like fishing poles because he wants to go fishing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hunt with him. We're talking about going to Arkansas to duck hunt.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
He's
Going in some like good blinds. You could cook in there.
yeah.
Because I went deer hunting and it was fucking.
It's so
miserable.
boring. It's too cold.
You get out there at like 3 a.m. It is fucking freezing. You don't see shit.
No,
all
you
day.
might see like unless you're like on a good like hunting ground that's like
A
well
stocked-
known
yeah,
that you're paying
stocked
for.
ground, yeah.
Like you might see 2 deer, so it fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude, I
and
saw
then most of
one.
the time it's like a doe.
I only killed 1 deer, and the first deer I killed was the only time I went, and I fucking blew this motherfucker's head off. It was not a clean shot. I went up and I was just like, oh my god! Literally blew his brains out.
Devastated.
And I was pretty disgusting. I
I've
felt
always-
really bad.
I've always had a pretty good shot.
It was a fucking kill shot. So it was.
I mean, you killed it.
I
yeah.
mean,
know.
that's not a clean kill, but at the same time,
No.
it probably died really fast.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know what the
Dude,
fuck happened.
The last deer that I shot, I remember that bitch was like, I want to say me and my dad stepped it out that it was like 65, 70 yards through woods. Fucking just dropped this bitch clean shot like right where it's supposed to
Damn.
go. Dropped it right there.
How dare you guys talk about Mother
Snipe.
Nature that way? Dropped this bitch.
But we're gonna go duck hunting though in Arkansas. Did
Yeah.
we mention what we were actually hunting when we go?
yeah,
Okay.
duck hunting. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's
excited
friend
for that.
is like kind of a professional guide out there down in Arkansas, and he does he like did a guide for this famous country singer and everything.
Was it Kenny Chesney?
No, it's Chet something. I
don't
think.
know.
I think.
Chet Faker?
I don't think so. I don't know. It's some famous country singer right now. And then since he like went on a tour there, like he I guess got a bunch of like people coming to try to get tours with him after that because he just got to put a good name out for him and everything.
That's pretty
So
dope.
like my dad always gets to go out there with him and everything for like
The cannabis
pretty
man.
cheap. Yeah, the cannabis man.
Anybody that knows Austin's parents, they're just so crazy. Jeff was here. His dad was here like last year or 2 years ago.
That's right when we moved here.
We were just getting so high, and he's just like, "Do you know what? I got superpowers." He's like, "I'm the cannabis man. Anybody's down, I'll put a smile on your face. I'm the cannabis man."
It's like I'll just get them high and they'll turn their frown upside down and just have them high.
If your dad's good for something, he's good for many things, but one thing you can always count on him for is to bring you up if you're feeling a little down.
It's very true. He's so good at
He
it.
just makes you laugh. He's funny as fuck.
He is.
He gave me a bed like 4 years ago, and he's like, I know you like those fat chicks. You got to roll in them flour to find a wet spot.
Oh my god.
So this bed is real sturdy. You're gonna be all good.
What is that movie where like it's like a baseball movie, but one of the members of the baseball team just loves fat girls, and it's like a moped. Like you want to have fun and ride it, but you don't want to see or don't want your friends to don't want your friends to watch you doing it or some shit like that. To see you doing
You're
it.
fun to ride, but you don't want to be seen doing
Yeah,
it.
that's it. There you go. Thank you for making that much more succinct than I could at that moment.
Hey, overweight people need loving too.
That's right, dude.
That's why they're the best in bed, because I don't get it often.
That
That's
is-
what my dad tells me, anyways.
No, I'm just gonna say I agree with that.
Yes.
In my experience.
Shit. Matthew. We're
Yes.
gonna talk. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh no, I haven't hooked up with that many girls that weigh more than I do, just in general,
Same.
you know. But I remember one time I did, and she was quite impressive. Let's leave it at that.
Oh my god.
And nothing more needs to be said.
Oh my god.
So,
The picture going through my head right now.
What are you picturing, man?
Dude, you don't even want to know. I'm just
Like
gonna let
me
my
lifting up a fupa and like resting it, so like getting it out of the way.
kind of something like that. Yeah, but I imagine her like on top though, and you're like,
I'm down with that.
It's like Wee Man and Jackass. When that girl goes on top of him, you can't breathe.
Hey, you
when
know,
they staple or glue Wee Man to fucking
Oh,
the
yeah.
fat guy.
Preston, I think it is.
Yeah.
Preston.
love is love. I've seen
Dude,
big
it is.
guys with small girls. I've seen
Oh,
big girls
yeah.
with small guys. I've seen
No.
tall people with short people. And
People
vice
gotta
versa.
understand when
That's
you
why
just talk
love is
shit
crazy
too.
though. Like, you see the most like what you'd think it would be an awkward couple, but they're in
and
love.
they're
that's
actually
what's-
really in love.
Yeah,
and it's
and
beautiful.
That's the most
yeah.
beautiful thing you've ever seen.
I could see just people talking about this last couple minutes saying just
Me
shit.
too. I thought
But, like,
about that.
We laugh at ourselves. Like
We do.
we dog each other more than we'll dog anybody else.
Yes.
Like
I think we've said nothing but good things so far.
Yeah,
it's all
we
love
kinda
though.
diss
I know,
heavyweight
but people are
people,
just
but
so
I-
sensitive.
We said that they need love.
and that they're good in bed.
That's a compliment.
Matt said it was,
that is true.
It was wild.
That is true.
It's a stereotype.
Yes.
Okay, not all fat girls are good in bed. Some are really bad. I'm joking. I'm making jokes.
And gingers are really bad in bed.
That's actually not true either. But let's change the subject.
Gingers are hot.
Yes.
Yes, I like ginger. I like ginger girls and ginger guys too.
There's
but
something about
mostly
gingers
ginger
that are
girls.
just like, I don't know, it's super hot.
I
It's so
agree.
attractive.
It's like the cute librarian thing going on. You know,
Dude, that is it.
it's
That
like
is so it. I
they're
think.
often very shy. I've noticed.
Yes.
And they have this like kind of crazy.
And
side
most of them
too.
are, they're freaks.
Freaky side.
Yeah, they have this freaky side to them. They have this party, wild animal side to them usually. Cause
I'm
they are
actually
such
saving
quiet-
myself for my second marriage. I've never had sex. So.
for your second marriage.
Is that how it works in being a Catholic?
Yes, you
Your
have to
second
save yourself
marriage?
for your second
I
marriage.
thought he was a
So you have to
JLO.
go through a bad divorce.
First one's a guaranteed divorce.
Yes. What a weird.
We gotta
thing.
watch this movie Crashing, or not? Sorry, the show Crashing. I've been telling you about it, but it's a comedian, Pete Holmes, and it's like loosely kind of based on his life. But he starts off like this super uptight Christian conservative that's dating another uptight Christian conservative, and then just like she admits to him that she's like having an affair with this dude that's like the opposite of him, just like this hippie, like, hey, what's up, man? Like, we should all just love each other type thing. And then the rest of the show is like him just like crashing on various comedians' couches, like trying to start his comedy career. So it's pretty solid.
based off his actual life.
Yeah, he's actually like an uptight Christian kind of guy. And a lot of his comedies like based along that, or along those lines. But
Who's
it's
he
really
again?
solid. His name's Pete Holmes.
Okay.
Oh, I know
Solid
that
show.
is.
Yeah,
I can't put a face on him, but I know that.
He's kind of like
You're
a
not.
chunky, looks like a nerdy white dude, but he's
Yeah.
funny as fuck. I like him.
Stand-up comedy.
Who's your favorite comedians?
Dave,
Chappelle.
Louis.
You love Louis.
I love Louis.
Louis is amazing.
Louis is the man, and I want redemption too. Honestly, there's no due process. He did some weird sexual things that I wouldn't do, but
But you can't
there's-
cancel someone for
we
what he
always
did.
talk about it. There's a spectrum to being canceled. There's
There is.
forgiveness, and we're talking about like 20 years ago. He was jacking off on the phone. Like, bitch, you never heard about hanging up.
And
on the
didn't he
phone?
have permission from the person?
Yeah, he asked them. He was like, "Do you
Yes.
mind if I masturbate while we
Yes.
talk on the phone?" Or I think he did it in front of people in the room too.
Yeah, and he
But he
asked.
asked them, and they were like, okay." They probably felt super weird.
Yeah.
But this idea that he like manipulated them with his power, like he wasn't even very famous. That he was like a writer for some maybe comedy shows or some shit. Maybe he did a movie or something like that. But he was just some weird dude that was.
It's fucked up and
He
weird,
had a
but
weird
asked
fetish.
for permission, had consent, and did it.
That's the
it's just
hypersensitivity of what's happening
Yeah.
right now. Everybody
true.
is going fucking crazy.
But
And
he's-
everybody is just very hypersensitive.
I think I told you
So
my
true. It's
friend.
just that time.
My friend won't say her name, but she posted something along the lines of like, "Hey, remember all the guys like that I had sex with like back 10 years ago or 5 years ago? I was actually just kidding."
Oh yeah, see, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Just kidding.
I just don't, and we always talk about it, just the entitlement. Like, you weren't there, and you're hearing a fucking news article. Like, you were not in the room with them. You don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck happened, and just shut the fuck up. You
Well,
don't have
I-
anything to say.
I would like to see him come back for sure. He's
That-
funny as fuck.
Yeah, he's so funny, and I love. You showed me like a bootleg version of his like most recent stand up. You know, he started doing stand up again, and he just starts it like, "So how was your year?"
Yeah, he's like, have you ever lost $35 million in one day? Like, I did.
And I like he goes
That's
on.
funny as
He
fuck.
goes on to talk about how every day of the year was shitty, and he's like, "Imagine that! Just every day of the entire year, you wake up, you're just like, oh fuck my life."
to the point where it gets comical and like you just start laughing because
And that's
like,
the best
"Oh my
comedy
God."
though, like when you can talk about your like real life shit and
Yeah.
not like you stretch it obviously to make it funny, but it's based on true shit instead of just off the dome.
It's
and-
being real.
yeah, exactly.
I think that's what makes the best comics.
Agreed.
If you look at Kevin Hart,
that's why
you
I
look
love
at
Kevin Hart. He talks about
Dave.
his dad. It's so funny.
Dave, everybody. That's
Exactly.
the true comics. Just being real
are the greats.
yourself. Because then it's not even authentic because you're talking about shit that's not even applying to you.
Yeah, but then they also walk this like line where they are themselves, but then because they're comics, they are intentionally saying things that are over the line
Oh.
Yes.
and not themselves.
Yeah.
So like some people get really confused by this, and you know every comic right now is talking about that. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, here's the exact transcript of what they said, and like, yeah. Of course, if you read it like that, it sounds terrible. But like
They
in
add
the context,
the
it's
story.
a joke. Yeah, it's a fucking.
It's like
joke.
that one dude.
Yeah.
She said no, stop.
Yeah, she said no, stop.
She didn't fucking say it like that.
Not like no, stop it. You're being so bad. That's Bill Burr.
yeah.
I just don't understand the lack of wisdom when it comes to forgiving people now. Like, people change.
Agreed.
Joey Diaz, that crazy ass fat ex cokehead.
Yeah.
He kidnapped a guy.
That's-
Kidnapped a guy, and guess what? 30 years later, he had him on his podcast.
And that's love right there.
That's love.
Like,
It's realizing
How do you have the balls to ask him to come on your podcast and then that dude also be like, yo, dude, I forgive this guy and I'm
Yeah.
going to go on
Okay.
his podcast.
Here's a crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
go ahead.
I feel like this is a crazy way to interject this crazy fact, but it's also totally relevant. Like, so your body, I think it's like every 7 years for some of the things that last the longest, and I think there's a few parts of your brain that actually always are there, but every other part of your body regenerates. It's
every
just like,
single cell.
Yeah, every cell. It's not you. You're literally a different physical being than you were 7 years, 10 years
I
ago.
think that makes you-
Don't you think you could be a different mental person 30
sure.
years later?
I think
Like,
it naturally
Yeah.
grows and changes.
yeah,
You
you're
learn
not
from
one
your
thing.
mistakes.
And that's-
Absolutely.
Think about drastic changes in people's personalities throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like randomly.
Exactly.
That's maybe because different cells combine different ways.
That's a good question.
Different neurons going to different places.
Yeah.
Different things,
Yeah.
man.
That's pretty
It's,
crazy.
you're
to think like
always
that.
changing until the day you die, really.
Yeah.
Like, your body is always changing, whether you're getting old,
Yeah.
And
smarter.
what you learn and the wisdom you take with you, you
Exactly.
know. It's funny that you brought up Joey Diaz because it's when I first started hearing those stories, I had the thought like, what the fuck is Joe Rogan doing having this criminal on his podcast?
Yeah.
And then I was being judgmental, and then I realized he's an amazing person who has changed.
Yeah.
And he talks about those parts of his life openly
Yeah.
because kind of as a signal to his changed self. You know, he's motioning to his listeners, I am a different person and I'm willing to be fully honest about all of the aspects of my
Yes.
past, you know?
Yeah.
And so I respect the fuck out of him now, and it helped me grow as a person and realize I was being quick to judge, you know?
Put my
Definitely.
Get that foot up there.
Dirty ass
wanted to
foot.
stretch out. My fucking legs are so sore. But the thing is, Joey went. The cancel culture went after him a couple weeks ago,
Really?
like 2 months ago, and every single person there was like this big wave, but then it was a big backlash of people being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He is the shit. And he's like, you're going to cancel me, motherfucker. He's like, I tell you everything I've ever done. He's like, I've told you guys. I've kidnapped a guy. I used to do a bunch of coke. I used to have girls suck my dick for coke. Everything. We're talking about video 10 years ago, motherfucker. I posted it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, you just can't. There's people... And what did Duncan Trussell say? We were talking about the other day. People are going to gravitate towards you no matter who you are. Like there's going to be certain people that aren't going to accept you for who you are. And that's okay.
And that is okay.
You can't please everyone, and you got to realize that.
I guess it comes in this gray area of people that on surface you think you would get along with, or maybe, you know, have a lot of shared, and we do often have a lot of things shared in common. But then you realize that there's this part of them that isn't okay with something you do or say, or there's a line that you have crossed, apparently, that, you know, I have lines. I mean, I wouldn't be hanging out with someone that, like, sacrifices babies or something secretly, you know?
Like dropping the N-word, like, heavy.
Yeah. If someone's always saying the N-word, I'd be like, I'm not going to be around this person.
Yeah.
No way.
Like an actual racist person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
With the situation that we went through with our past friends, I forgot how we worded it. Oh, it's like these people now think that it's like, oh, now I know who he is because something happened.
Yeah.
You know? And
yes,
there's a lot of, we've experienced that a lot the past couple months.
Yeah, we kind of had some friends and apparently we crossed the line. But
simply through this podcast.
Was it podcast number 3? Matt Gets Canceled? Check it out.
Yes, check it out. But like, and it breaks my heart, you know, because I don't live my life like that. I really think deeply into that, and they didn't think deep enough because we know who we actually are.
Yeah, they just took bits and pieces, and they've been our friends for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah. So like they've seen us at every stage of how fucked up we are, from sober to fucked up, and they know who we are as people, and the fact that they just took little bits and pieces and then just like we were kind of across the line from it.
Yeah, we were also kind of fed up. Yeah, so I agree. We kind of said fuck off.
Yeah, because we got in a fight with them, and then eventually we were just like fuck off too.
But because they didn't
realize,
I just don't. My way of thinking, like if I heard a story like that, I'd be like, he was probably joking.
I'd find out the actual context too,
rather than assume the absolute worst, disgusting possible truth of what was said.
Ask him.
I think the first text we got from somebody was like, you know, I really feel like there's a divide going in our friendship, all this stuff, and we were just like, yo, why do I don't even want to fucking defend myself because I'm not fucking. I just think a little.
And then we went to go eat at Rock Bottom, literally like a month after that happened, and then apparently the bartender came up to him and was like, I heard you guys are rapists. I'm just and he's like I'm just finding this out tonight too. So like he
was joking with you guys about it because he knew it's bullshit.
He's good friends with us. Like he's gonna come on our podcast and defend us, but then he got busy with work and shit. But like those friends were there, and so then because they saw us there, they were just going around and telling everyone at work to try to hate us because they saw us just minding our business eating there.
Well, that's just maturity.
That's why what the fuck? Like I thought at least like it was over with. Like we weren't even gonna talk. Like, but then you're going and spreading still bullshit. Like a month
those
later,
people,
just because
those people are gonna be here today and gone tomorrow.
That's very true.
They're not meant to be.
And that's I love the people that we have like kind of connected with recently have been so dope, man. Like I feel like we're really on the same wavelength with them, and I feel like that's important in life to find those people that ride that same wavelength.
We had a very successful party the other night.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that a little bit more. You know, I mean, I'm 30, you guys are 26, 27. You're 27. You're about to be 27, Ty.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy early.
But you know, it's a lot of people don't find new friends at that age. They kind of stick with what they know. Yeah. And I've been at a point in my life, you know, I have so many of people I consider my best friends, but they live in Chicago.
You have hell of friends. Dude.
So like it's like growing this new group here, and we've been growing a new group. It's pretty cool.
It is. It feels awesome.
It does. A lot of people that I feel are great people.
Dude. Like I feel like we just have like everything's just been meshing together.
And then at the
recently,
party, we met a bunch of new people.
friends, music.
Like that we've never even met before. That came to our house, and it seemed like they
It's been awesome.
really enjoyed their time here and everything. We had a bunch of new people mixing on the DJ shit.
There were girls in dresses here the other night, not just hippie girls. It was crazy.
What?
For the first time in a long time.
That's dope.
We're branching out to new types of humans.
It's like Chicago again.
It felt like Chicago a little bit for sure.
Yeah, you don't. Funny. There's no hippies in Chicago.
There are. It's just
anywhere downtown though. It's girls in dresses for sure.
They're overlooked by the massive amounts of people that are not hippies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Where in Colorado, like you even have like I don't know. There's some store I've seen where it's like super expensive hippie clothing for girls, and I think it's actually just girls, but it's like designer hippie stuff.
Oh, of course.
So you see, that's the style in Colorado in general. This kind of progressive.
I think Chicago's getting more progressive like that too, though.
Very true.
Yeah,
I love those like city festivals or like big shows where it's just like a hippie takeover of the city, and then the city has like no idea what's happening with all like these people dressed all crazy. Yeah, dude, Atlanta was crazy.
my buddy Mids told me his uncle's he used to follow the Dead around, and now he follows Fish and all that. But he said back in the day, the Dead played at Soldier Field. And at the time held like 70 or 80,000 people, totally sold out. There was another 30,000 Dead fans just surrounding the building, just in the parking lot, working it up, selling nitrous, things they do best, grilled cheese sandwiches.
My favorite is like when we like go to the hotel for like a bass nectar show, what we used to, and like just this mob coming in, but all the families that are checking in, and they have like these little kids, and they're just like, "What is the train that came in?" Like, what the
Once you
fuck?
said like nitrous, something that kind of like there's these people called the nitrous mafia, and basically they go around to like festivals and shows, and they bring these nitrous tanks to sell to people, and they're very sneaky about it. We are leaving, I want to say it was Atlanta or some big city like that, and we walked out of this Nectar show, and the nitrous mafia was on this corner, and there's like 30 people to probably 100 people around them trying to get balloons and shit.
That was Atlantic City.
And then this cop pulls up on that corner, and you just like, and with 5 seconds, the tanks were gone, the people were gone, and it was you acted like it was nuts. Like it never happened. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
They're there and then they're gone.
It was like they just disappeared through the ground.
But
like,
there was hundreds of balloons on the ground.
But they're so sneaky.
Did they throw 6 smoke bombs on the ground and say "Ninja vanish"?
Dude, it was some shit like that for real.
I've seen them pull up and I've seen them leave situations. Like they're like they move weird.
They do.
Like they move to the point where they know they're hiding in a tank.
Yeah.
Like they just have this huge ass tank.
Dude.
And in Chicago, a cop pulled up too when I was seeing Pretty Lights, and it was like the illusionist just like fucking gone. I'm like, where the fuck did he go?
Have you guys ever heard any of the folklore? Oh, sorry, what were we gonna say?
Dude, I was gonna say like at Forest, I guess like they go into the forest like 2 weeks before, and they just bury a bunch of tanks in the forest. So then when the forest opens, they can go in there.
I heard this about summer camp too.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard any like the urban legend folklore going around the nitrous mafia? Like, no man, if you're not part of the mafia, you can't sell nitrous here. Otherwise, they'll come and smash your head in on the curb with a tank.
That ain't true.
I think what it probably is there's probably been times when the nitrous mafia has come in and beat people up, and it's been like a fight. But like, I can't imagine they're like murdering people for nitrous money.
Well, it's not.
Or there's
it's
tense
basically
situations.
if they find out people are selling like bum nitrous in their area, like it's like they're on their corner selling shit nitrous.
Selling any nitrous, they're taking their money.
Yeah, they're like, and I've heard that's true, but I don't know, because I've heard like hippies at festivals, like if you try to sell a hippie bad acid, like they'll fucking come find you. Like a bunch of hippies.
An angry hippie.
I would fight somebody if they were selling bad acid too.
And like
That's
you're a hippie
up.
wanting
That's
like this
up.
straight
Oh, it's very dangerous to do to people. Yeah,
You could
it's fucked
change
up.
somebody's psychology.
Even with now, they're finding fentanyl in every drug
Dude,
possible.
It's so fucked.
Possible.
I don't understand why you would make a drug to put it in more drugs.
I know.
Is there not a cheaper?
If one is cheaper, and then
why don't you use fucking anything else like baking soda?
No, if one is cheaper and it gets you fucked up still.
Yeah.
So if it's like, oh, I got really fucked up from this drug, people that don't know about it will be like, oh, it worked. But really, they were getting fucked up on a cheaper, more potent chemical like fentanyl or something like
so
that.
they actually just replace it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because people are saying like were selling coke with fentanyl in it, like coke and fentanyl. I'm like, nobody would.
Yes.
Why would you?
Because you can cut it with because they can get the fentanyl
and
cheaper.
like literally a
You
mic.
might still get high off coke if you cut it with something else. It'd be half coke.
But you get, again, let's say you don't know much about the drug and you're also feeling super fucked up off this fentanyl aspect of it. You would just be like, oh, it worked. You wouldn't know necessarily like, oh, well, I got X amount of the coke high, but something was in there that
and
brought
it's
me
like a grain of fentanyl can kill you, and it looks like coke, so it's like fucked up because the two together just fucks your heart up.
To throw you a bone, I've had the exact same thought. I don't fully understand how it's more profitable for them to like, but that's my best guess.
I feel
is
like
like
it's more just because people like the high of fentanyl. And so they sell it to people that like
do
fentanyl.
fentanyl solely to do fentanyl.
They
That's
do.
what I'm saying. So I feel like it's more guided towards those people that want to smoke weed but also want to get high off fentanyl, so they mix the two.
Didn't Mac die off fentanyl?
Yeah, because he got coke that was laced with it.
I remember seeing a news article that the guy got
caught,
charged.
They finally caught the guy not too long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was within a few months ago.
Yeah, I think he got charged with murder or manslaughter.
Yeah. There was a video of his dad. Like I saw, like there's basically like this huge DJ party, basically, and then Mac's dad comes on the mic and was like, made this big announcement that they caught like the killer finally and stuff, and everyone started going crazy.
Stitch it together. Yeah, Mac Miller. It's a shame because I'm just out of the loop about everything, but he's someone I didn't really get into until like when he died. I was not very familiar. I knew who he was because he's so famous.
That's how
But his music's fucking dope.
Yeah.
He's an amazing producer.
I listened to him once
musician.
he passed more, and I got into him that way. And yeah, dude, his music's so good. He's a very talented artist.
Rest
that
in peace.
fucking
26.
26.
in the like
your age
library mix shows or whatever, or in the
Tiny Desk
shows, dude. His Tiny Desk show is crazy good.
Yeah. I figured you like him a lot too. I know you said you didn't listen, but jazz. He's got
a lot of jazz influence.
Yeah,
I mean, I just like we talk about this all the time, but I'm so busy making my own music. I get out of touch with the real music world, but I've been trying to get more in touch with it again.
I used to be so into like the music. I would download like the day that song came out, if it was a popular song or gonna be popular, I already had it downloaded. Like before people could even get it, because I was searching the internet for like these low key sites that would like basically get leaked versions of the songs and shit. And then ever since I got into producing, I just completely fell off of like music as a whole, of what's out, what's popular, who's popular, what new artist is out. I have no idea who they are. Like half the rappers, I don't even know who they are.
I remember watching this Lil Wayne documentary, and he was talking about how he pretty much only listens to his own music because he's always just trying to think about how he can make it better and blah blah blah. And I had adopted that mentality a bit, and I was always listening to my own shit. But I realized that you miss out on a huge plethora of influence from people that are doing shit better than you.
Dude, ever since you moved in the house, I feel like you kind of got me, because I used to just listen to my own music still, but then you feel like you kind of inspired me to listen to more music and that I usually listen to. And yeah, you get so much more inspiration, minus house music, fuck house, but like everything else.
Every once in a while you'll be like, all right, this one's kind of cool.
I will.
Fuck you. How about that?
But like I've gotten inspiration from rock now, fucking jazz, fucking everything, classical.
I've always tried to be open-minded to every genre of music because I've had so many moments where I'll be at like a pop show or a rock show or bluegrass or something and get an inspiration for something that I want to do in my electronic-based music, And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be like the sound. Obviously, a lot of times not the sound.
One sound, like a hi-hat.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
triangle.
It could be like the arrangement, or it could be the energy of a part, or like the way they bring down the dynamics. So it's little things you never would have thought could influence you.
My old vocal and piano teacher, kind of before I moved here, Alan Bogovich, shout out Alan if you watch our podcast, he always said that his like dad or his teacher always taught him, you have the right to dislike a song, but you have to be able to give me two like real reasons of why you don't like that song, of like specific reasons. Like I don't like basically the synth that they use because it's too bright, or I don't like the flute in that song or the drums that go along with that. Like be specific, and if you can name two parts, then that's okay for you not to like that song. But if you're just like, I don't like the sound of it, or I don't really know why I don't like it, but I don't like it, then it's like, why you got to find a reason not to, because you can always find inspiration in anything.
In that Tony Robbins book that I read, it has this part where it talks about, you have your dream, whatever it is, and, you set it and you wake up every day with that in mind. And then your brain starts to like program itself to look for any little thing that will help guide that, So you start like narrowing your attention to shit that you may have overlooked before, but now that you have this constant dream or whatever, this drive in your brain all the time, you'll start to pick up on these little things that are going to help guide that,
Dude, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like you're programming your brain to help guide you into what you want, and we talk about manifesting a lot, and we make laughs at the secret and this idea, I'm just going to think about it and it's going to happen, but that's really the truth of it. It's like programming your brain to be malleable to every possible thing that's going to help guide your goals,
Exactly.
Like water.
Like what? Like water. Be like water.
Bruce Lee. Rest in
Dude, that documentary sucked. It didn't suck, but it was not good.
Asleep and that's disappointing that it fucking
There was
wasn't good.
every time it was narrated, there was never the person narrating. It was just like
they didn't
random
show
image.
the person that was like talking.
That's weird.
It was really annoying.
It's like they just like found people to say words.
As far as documentaries go, here's Like Water, and here's The Last Dance.
Dude, The Last
way
Dance
up
is
there.
the best documentary I've ever seen.
So good, dude.
Michael Jordan is the fucking man.
It's so inspiring.
There's one I've heard that's very good about Vietnam. I think you were watching part of it by Ken Burns. I think it's just called Vietnam or something like that.
Yeah, I was
it's like
watching
19 episodes long.
Yeah. I love war. Well, I don't love war.
I love war.
But
I like war
it
movies.
just fascinates me.
Yeah.
It is fascinating.
How crazy we are.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Like, we're going to go bomb those people across the ocean because fuck them.
I think
All for,
and just
like,
kill
oil or money.
and just kill hundreds of thousands of people.
I think I've said this before, but there's some study like a lot of soldiers don't shoot to kill. They intentionally shoot above because they don't want to kill people.
It's scary.
It's scary.
I
Killing
used
someone would be really difficult.
when I was
I don't know if I could.
Being a sniper would fucking be like nightmares every night.
Oh god, PTSD from that shit. Unless you're just
That's
a sick
really
fuck.
good movie with Bradley Cooper.
I haven't seen
Dude,
that American
so good.
Sniper.
American Sniper is really good.
What was
I
that
liked it a lot.
most recent war movie we saw where the dude like lands a plane on the beach?
Tom Hardy's the one that 19
07 or something like that? Or
it's a date. It's a year.
It's a
year.
movie that just came out, I think, this year, and it's a year.
Yeah.
It's a war movie.
Yeah,
It's
Tom
super
Hardy
good.
has a fucking accent.
Of course, talking with marbles in his mouth again.
He's a pilot the whole time, and you don't see that it's Tom Hardy
Till
until
the
the
very
end. And
And his voice the whole time.
right when
fucked up.
Yeah.
right when he took it off, I started dying because I was thinking about it, and I was like, "Tom, of course it's him."
So let's
He had a
elaborate.
weird accent.
Let's elaborate, because one time I mentioned to Tyler that every fucking time Tom Hardy's in a movie, and he's like always winning awards for these roles too. He's like talking with some accent that he just made up.
Yes.
That's like, oh, that's so artsy. It's so relevant because the time was different. And like, I can't understand a shit you're saying, Tom
It's
Hardy.
super flamboyant every single time.
That being said, I love Tom Hardy, and I
Dude,
think he's
same.
awesome.
I think he's-
I just
I
like
think
there's
he's a
some things
badass.
about that accent thing that just bugs me. But he's a G. He's a great actor. I think he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But something about those accents.
If you didn't say that, I'd be fine. But now it's ruined. It's ruined it because I wasn't thinking about it, but
his
now I just
accent
think
in
about it.
fucking the Revenant or Revenant.
Revenant.
Dude.
Yeah, Revenant.
Yeah, his accent in that's pretty fucking.
Yeah.
It's like
Can't
this-
understand
it's like
anything
this
he's
hillbilly
saying.
fucking redneck, like war guy.
Trapper that just doesn't. He just like picks up his accent from random people he meets in the woods.
Yeah,
That was a really good movie too.
That movie was good.
graphic as fuck.
You know, I need to rewatch it again. I was a little bummed because the whole thing with Leo, he never won Best Actor until that movie. But I feel like there were so many other roles of his that he didn't talk that much in The Revenant. I think that was part of it. Maybe that's why people were like, oh, but he invoked so much emotion.
Bear.
Exactly, I get it.
Yes, throat.
He
cut
did
out.
invoke a lot of emotion without talking that
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. you
It
know.
really helped, like watching it as an adult, because when we watched it, I watched it with you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like I was 19.
Recently.
Yeah, but now as a man, it's just so fucking humbling. Like thinking back at that time, just hunting and gathering, trying to survive
How
the
hard that
winter.
time was, just Indians coming.
Oh
and
my
killing you out of
god!
nowhere.
And
Dude.
our podcast name, Privileged Cavemen. not too far off, not too many years ago.
Yeah.
A couple people ago.
How lucky are we?
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Very lucky.
And look what we're doing with it. We're not. A lot of the world does not appreciate what they have.
It's so true.
Well, I think that's so funny. Right when we started our podcast, I had multiple people hit me up. Like, they didn't come at me, but they were like, "What's up with the name, man?" Like, blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that word's a little hot right now, you know. And I was like, maybe if you, I don't know.
Maybe
don't
open your
instantly
mind.
go. Yeah, don't go to the negative interpretation, and maybe think about what it means. To us, at least.
Maybe that's the problem. Because of our privilege, we are so
into our phones.
like we have nothing else to do. Our life is so good. We don't have to survive. We wake up in a warm fucking house. We turn the faucet on whenever we want. We have hot water whenever we want.
Yep.
We have a vehicle that we could drive, not a fucking horse and buggy.
Yep.
We could go to the grocery store, buy food, anything. And all we do is start caring about things because of that. Way too much. Or having drastic emotional things or thoughts towards things because you ain't busy doing anything.
Yep.
You ain't doing shit.
And that's a lot of the people that talk shit are the people that aren't doing anything.
Yes.
They're working that normal 9-to-5 job or fucking the minimum wage job even.
Any successful
And it's
person
like,
I know is
do
not
something.
coming at people because
Yeah.
they're not focused on other people.
Exactly. They're focused on themselves and their own art.
It's like the South Park episode with the Yelpers. They're like, I'm a Yelper, so your best table, please. But it's like, I've thought about that. Okay, I've never Yelped once. And it's because I don't fucking have time to Yelp.
Yes.
Even if something shitty happens to me, I have too much other things that are, to me, much more valuable going on in my head than to be worrying about a somewhat uncomfortable experience I may have just had at a restaurant that's still probably good.
Yeah.
Or, you know, again, that I can go home to my house and turn on my hot water and not have to worry about basic survival shit. I don't have time to be bitching about the restaurant experience I just had on the internet.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And I also
Yeah, like how do people go leave poor reviews?
But also that's like just
Who has time
that's
for
just
that?
negative too. Any positive person, if we went to a restaurant and everything was terrible, we would not say a single word.
No.
No.
And
Do you know
we'd
why?
probably still tip.
We would tip, and it's because these are human beings. Who knows what day they had?
Exactly.
What if the cook is just miserable, hates his life, lost his girl, dog died,
Yep.
mom died.
Anything.
You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And charitable. We're human beings, and we're brothers and sisters.
Wasn't it you that was serving at Rock Bottom one time and someone some dad called you like a bitch or I don't know. I thought they like cussed at you like real hard or something.
I've been cussed at for sure.
Yeah, it's like how do you have the energy to just cuss out a server
Yeah.
because they probably didn't even fuck up. It was someone else.
I hate when servers or people in service industries don't stick up for themselves.
Same. They
Because
just cry.
if somebody comes at you like that, the company's going to have your back.
Yep.
So if somebody comes at me like that, I will literally laugh in your face.
Same.
Literally
I
laugh in
did
your
that
face.
one
Be
time
like,
to this lady.
all right, I'm going to let you be alone. I can get another server. You have a good day,
Yes.
man. I'll see you later.
I'll even tell a manager off.
you ain't bringing me down, dog.
That's
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's interesting, but from a pure business standpoint, it probably is cheaper for them to just let that person be pissed and maybe never come back than to have to get rid of you,
Yeah.
hire someone else to do your job, which
Yep.
you're very good at.
Yeah.
You know.
No, they don't give a fuck. Because the managers know people suck.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a restaurant industry.
Dude, this
Yes.
one time, when I first started at Rock Bottom, that I got like real slammed, and I needed to ask my manager a question, and he gave me lip, and so I told him to fuck off or something.
Give them more of the story a little bit.
Okay, so I was like really slammed on the patio, and like we have to get
Oh,
we have a
when you said slammed at first, I thought you were talking about just being fucking hammered.
no.
You're like, I was
at work. I was shit
slammed.
faced.
I mean, I probably
was
was
like-
a little drunk because I was working the patio late at night. and
Yeah,
we had
shout out Rock Bottom. We drank the whole time we worked.
Yeah, we did.
No.
And so, we have to get assigned to this late night menu, by the manager for every table, and it takes fucking time. So I had like 3 tables I had to get assigned to by my manager. So I go up to him, and I don't say a word, and he's like, "Excuse me?" And so I look at him, and I'm like, "Fuck off." And then he like looks at me because he's talking to someone, and then I just like look at him, and I'm like, "Fuck off." And then he's like, "Whoa, you can't talk to me like that." And I'm like, "Well, you're acting like a little bitch right now."
You did not say it like that. You want to talk about freezing time? You walk into Rock Bottom, it's huge. There's people everywhere. It's full. And all you hear is, "How about you stop acting like a little bitch?"
From Austin, right?
Literally the entire restaurant froze.
Yo, pound it. That's G as fuck.
You know when you hear like the plates like clicking and stuff, and you hear like the plate like drop, and it's just like done. That's what it was.
So then I tell him to stop acting like a little bitch, or that he was acting like a little bitch, and then I like walk away because I didn't want to deal with the shit. So then he chased me down to the computer again, across the restaurant, and then I called him a little bitch again. So then the next day I come into work, everyone's just looking at me like, "Oh my God, Austin, you are a hero. You called Sean a little bitch." And it was so funny. So then a lot of the bartenders called me LB for a while, little bitch. It was super funny. Like I used to take shit from people, but then I just hit a point where I just stopped taking shit, unless it's about to be a fight or something, because I'm not trying to get physical.
I always had a bit of a chip on my shoulder where, like, if people give me shit, I feel like a need to, like, stand up for myself.
You come at people like fucking emotionally. Like,
You do not take shit. He doesn't take shit though. Somebody comes at
Matt
him.
one time was about to get in a fight with someone, or the dude was wanting to fight him, and he's like, "I can fight really well, and you don't want to fight me right now." Like,
He was like 130 pounds soaking wet, and like one of the skinniest people I've ever seen. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but I knew I could beat him in a fight.
Matt was a wrestler.
Yeah, I'm confident in my fighting abilities. I've trained with many wizards, many
You're
sages.
basically a karate master.
My father is a black belt in Kyokushin.
Dude, his nickname is
Rick-
Break the Brick
Rick.
because he can fucking break through bricks. He just goes, "Wah!" Breaks that shit.
My dad can break through fucking bricks. He's a G. But yeah, I've just always felt like, I don't know, that kid, specifically with that kid, I mean, and that's the thing, I know when you say shit like that, it gets in people's heads a little bit. You know?
It's fucked
But
up.
Tyler jumps off the bunk bed in a room where
In my
there's a gap
underwear.
in his underwear, like breaking us up. I was hammered.
Like,
Literally
4
breaking
foot by
up
4
two
foot
fully
room.
grown men.
But he was coming at me first, for sure.
He was 35. This motherfucker's 30. I'm breaking these guys up in my underwear. He lived in a room full of bunk beds that were sleeping
Room full
on.
of bunk beds. I was in there for 2 seconds. It was like 5 in the morning. I asked Tyler for the jewel.
Yeah.
And he lifts up his sleep mask and he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to fucking sleep, man. Would you
Yeah,
shut the fuck
that's
up?"
what he
Like,
said.
really disrespectful. And I was just like,
And Matt looked at him. He's like, "I don't agree with that, actually."
I was like, "No, I'm sorry." Like,
And
it's a
then
room
the
full
other
of
guy
4
was like,
people.
Really? And then Matt was like, "Yeah, we are in a room with 4 beds. So what do you
Sorry.
expect?"
And like, they were up all night the night before. Like, I was on the couch sleeping, and like, it didn't matter.
It was a
you know?
house full of wolves.
It was a fucking. We were hanging
It's
out for the weekend,
art
doing some art
experience
retreat.
away.
Yeah, exactly. And he really killed the vibe.
he did.
Everyone kept saying vibe check the whole weekend. End of the weekend, vibe check, no good.
The vibe check was literally.
Oh my god, the girl that kept on saying it, she's like, "Vibe check," and I was like, "You are not giving me a good vibe." Because
Oh yeah, she made us kick out Taylor's friends the night before,
Yeah,
so she was giving bad
Oh,
vibes.
yeah, bad vibes right there.
and that's another thing that I'm seeing online is that people that I know in person that act like hippies online.
Right.
And I know who they are in real life. And it's
You
just,
ain't no real hippie.
No, it's that fake, it's validation, fake bullshit. Not
They've
being
been to a
yourself.
festival.
Yeah. All the fake hippies I know are insane. It's just,
If you don't smoke weed, you're not a real hippie. If you don't take acid,
I know a lot
you're
of
not a real
people that
hippie.
smoke weed that still
If you don't
suck.
smoke DMT, you're not a real hippie.
That's not true. But you know, if you do that and you want to do it, cool too.
I think the most hippie thing is being the most sober person.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ram Dass is all about like he was searching for something deeper with LSD. I mean, the amount of LSD that Ram Dass took. He talks about this one time taking 250 micrograms every 4 hours for like they all did it for like 4 to 5 days in a row. And he's like, we were very, very high. But he's like, but I always came back down, and I was always left like with this emptiness, you know? Because he wasn't high anymore.
That's so much acid.
Yeah. And so that's why he made his search through spirituality. And his whole thing, that's what Be Here Now is all about. If the moment is not enough, and I know I'm drinking a beer and, you know, doing dabs and shit, but if this present moment in itself is not enough, like, that's it. Yeah. Too bad.
As the years pass, I get more sober, though. Like,
same.
Or I want to be more sober because
at least try.
Me too.
I just feel
better.
I also just feel like I've done it, you know?
We've been better.
Dude, I like hardly drink ever anymore. And I remember Western days, dude. Killing a 24 pack every fucking Friday, night. Saturday.
It started Tuesdays.
Yeah, true.
Tuesdays, and then
dollar
Wednesdays,
bottles were Wednesdays. Thursday was obviously going out, and then Friday, Saturday, and then people party on Sunday.
I don't know what your
Sunday
college experience was, but Western was rated the top 10 party school at one point.
Yeah.
I went to Elmhurst College, the town I was born and raised in. I lived with my parents.
Western, I think, led in Natty Light sales in the nation.
I went and visited my friends at like Wisconsin and ISU, so I have images. Yes,
but dude, it was crazy.
But like, I'm sure it was so cool to live
with
in.
Like 200 with people at the house / in the yard, and it was then the same amount of people at the house next door, and then same.
I think it's so just comedic that it's like, okay, you're 18, you got to go to college. All right, you're 19, 18, testosterone's going, things are changing, everybody wants to fuck, so we're gonna get like thousands of kids, put them in one area, make them spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't even know who they are yet, and they could just drink and fuck. And like, isn't that a pretty insane concept?
It is. We did some crazy
and that is the norm.
Shit, dude.
Like, if you're the kid that's not going to college right after high school, like, it's kind of like taboo almost. Or it used to be.
It used to be. It's not so much
like,
now.
oh, what are you gonna do without college? Well, I'm gonna become a
even
fucking
when
DJ
we
and a fucking musician.
Even when we graduated,
fucking do shit with my life. Dude, work in a fucking office. That's what I'm gonna fucking do.
Western ELE party, dude.
You know, it's funny. All right, so like, you made me think of a story. I always consider myself pretty empathetic, and I like, feel bad for people sometimes.
Yes.
And I remember this one time I went to a party at ISU, and there was a party at the apartment next door, and there was like 3 kids sitting on this like porch, or maybe 2 kids, and they were like all sad looking, and they were like, they looked at me, and they're like, they won't let us in this party, man. And I was like, shit, I mean, I don't know even who lives there. I'm sorry. And I went to my friend's house. But it always stuck with me. I felt like really bad, like they were rejected, you know, like, shit, they didn't let us in this party. But then Nathan said something to me the other day. He was talking about, like, people not picking up on social cues. And he's like, you know, I've always been the type of person. He's like, I've literally been hanging out with people and been like, no, they don't like me. And he's like, I'll fucking leave. Yeah. And that's it.
Who gives a fuck?
And that's what I realized. I'm like, why did I feel bad for these kids? They should have just been like, all right, these people don't fucking like us. Let's go find people that do like us.
But you have to have empathy that they have that mindset.
Well, that's the thing. Not everyone's like that, man.
Yeah. It's but you gotta have a fucking spine, you know?
Dude,
well, and that's the spine that I bet they grew over time, you know?
And it's not easy. It's
not easy. That's gotta suck to get rejected and like by assholes, you know?
We always talk about, dude, I would not pick another card. I love my life. But like, there's been a lot of situations where we talk about shit and having the empathy that we just think differently. And we're blessed to think. We got spines. We can move on. But, like...
not everyone's like that. You're right.
And we just think, like, why wouldn't you just do this? Because it's so easy for us to think. But in their minds, that is an insane problem.
In their minds, they had to be at that party.
They did.
Yes.
And then they didn't get let in, and then it really hurt them, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's something, like, even just thinking about it, it, like, hurts me a little bit to think about. But at the same time, I had that happen to me before in high school, for sure.
I've been rejected
you know, and it was like, all right, fuck. You hang out with people that do like you. You had one other person. Yeah. Like we said, if you got a couple badass people, you could take over the world, you know?
Yes.
So true. I like
you don't
that.
need
everybody thinks they need 20 friends. You need 3 motherfuckers and you can take over the fucking world.
Hell yeah.
Take over the
what do you know? There's 3 of us right here.
And we're going to take over the fucking world one day.
Yes.
Goddamn right we are.
We're working on projects right now.
Yeah, me and Ty got 2 projects
talk about that, guys.
working on. Ty, you want to start?
Well, it lined up perfectly because we were thinking the same thing at the same time, and we started talking about it, and we were just thinking like, we really need to just release the EP soon, but like the concept of it was the same, dubstep.
Yeah,
We just wanted to
like our
release
mindset
bangers.
is like we want to make timeless music, like music people are going to listen to 20 years from now, and we realize we're not going to make that music. I mean, we could luck out and make that track right now in our career, but we've been producing for barely 3 years, not
Yeah.
even, and we're not going to make that track now. We need to make more music that people just want to rage to and fucking headbang to, or fucking just get wild to. And so we decided we're going to try to this month at least compose, not necessarily have mastered, but like a 4 to 6 track EP of just kind of banger music that we like, at least, or what we think
That's
is
what I was gonna
heavy.
say. It's not like you guys aren't being yourselves either,
Yeah.
or catering
Yeah.
to something that you think people want. It's you like bangers, you know.
Yeah, we do.
Bangers are fun. They're
And
badass.
it'll right now it'll help us, I think, with marketing, even playing gigs, like local gigs, you know, because we can have a banger track that is like, okay, yeah, they at least have one good track they can drop in their set, even if they don't have any other music and everything.
We've talked about that. I did that.
Yeah.
We've done the same shit. I support that decision.
and that's the biggest thing. That's just respect to the people that are making timeless music, because like
It's hard.
when we first started, like I just held my music to a high standard. because
Same.
I want the beautiful tracks, like Flume, anything.
Yeah.
Like timeless shit instead of just like a rhythm track, you know?
But then
Because the production side of it, when it comes to, it's not easy to make it rhythm track, but
Once you get the main
once
Aspect
you could get it down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Once you start learning it,
and then the sound design's limitless once you have the right,
Yep.
like LFO basically,
and
aspect.
that's
of it.
what people are liking right now. But I also
true.
love that shit too. I'm still
Same.
being myself. So yeah, we're gonna release an EP by the end of this year.
Yeah, and I think I want to like.
He's gonna have an EP and I'm gonna have an
Yeah,
EP.
it's two separate ones. I think I kind of want to. Matt recently released an EP as a mix, I believe, right?
It did.
So it kind of inspired me. Like, I love DJing. Like, I love it more than producing, honestly, but I know producing is where the money is, and that's where your great tracks and fan base and everything comes from. So, like, I think I want to release mine as, like, an original EP mix, like 30-minute mix with kind of original remixes of other tracks, too, kind of mashed in throughout, but mostly it'd be, like, 4 to 6 songs of at least
Get it.
original tracks.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we set a goal by the end of the month to have it at least
Yeah.
composed,
Do
not
you
necessarily
have
mastered.
like a certain story you want to tell, or do you have like songs lined up? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, is there a theme besides just banger?
Rage.
There is in a way, like, I know I want to get down tempo. I love down tempo music. I have this one track I'm working on that's kind of more of a hype track, and I'm thinking about starting the mix out with that.
Nice.
It's got a lot of acapellas there, just going like, "Hey, yeah, let's go," and shit.
You should
like
remix
that.
the Bulls opening song.
I want to do that one so bad.
That'd be a good first
I,
EP track.
Shake Your Tail Feather. I want to remix that and put that in there. Salt. I want to sample like Salt Shaker. Like,
You got to
I
look
wanna
up
go
those.
back to my roots with some hip
Once
hop.
you do that, you have to look up those licensings, and you got to
Exactly.
reach out to them.
Yeah.
Pretty Lights has a sick Bulls intro song
Does
remix.
he?
Yeah.
Pretty Lights
I'm gonna have to
says.
check
Yeah, I
that
used to
out.
drop it in Chicago all the time. It was dope.
Dude, I'm gonna have to listen.
Is there
to
a
that
video
shit.
of it? Can we find it?
Oh, I'm sure.
There's gotta be.
We're watching that right after this.
Don't forget.
Shout out Pretty Lights.
Yeah. I hope he
We
comes.
miss you, man.
This was the year I
know
heard
you're
he was supposed
watching.
to come back. He was supposed to supposedly play Red Rocks this year, but obviously COVID, it didn't happen. So hopefully next year is the year he fucking has something come out.
Luckily, we're talking to somebody that is affiliated with him, and he said that he is working on a lot of music, and
Yo.
he planned on coming out, but COVID got him fucked up.
Yo,
So,
and that was.
and then
live, right?
Abby, Josh's girlfriend, was calling bullshit. She's like, "You say that all the time. Are you lying?" And I was like,
These
"That was
things.
not a lie."
These things take time.
No, we were. She was saying I was lying about talking to that Josh
Since-
dude.
Yes. Well, no, I don't think she thought you were lying because we were talking. All right. To be fair,
She said, "She's like, you say that all the time."
To be fair, he was lying because we got inside info from people that probably would know that he was not Pretty Lights' tour manager, that he worked with the crew and shit. But
He's got pictures with Pretty Lights all the time, though. So
I
he knows
believe
him.
that.
He knows. him.
Yes, he
Lie.
definitely knows him.
He knows him.
What was that guy's name? I don't fucking know.
I'm not gonna say that because we just said he was a liar.
Good point. Let's not say his name.
Well,
But either way, he was really cool, dude. But
No, I have him on IG. He's with Pretty Lights all the time. So
what's IG? Just kidding. I know what that is.
Okay, great.
I'm not that old.
I was not sure.
have you had any gray hairs yet?
Yes.
For real?
Yeah. There's
Does it get more over time?
What's it feel like?
No, they reverse. You actually get younger.
No, but have you noticed more over time, or have you only?
It's very sparse. I bet you could probably find one on the side of my head if you looked hard enough.
You're gonna
How do you
look
feel?
sick with curly hair and gray, curly.
Yes. I hope you have like silver like hair.
I'm gonna be a
I don't
silver
think I've ever
fox.
seen curly gray hair.
That's a good point.
Have you seen curly gray hair? Besides, like the old like judges in like the 1500s. Those are different type of curls, though. That's like
The big wigs.
it's like perm.
Those things are.
I don't even know what that's not a perm. I don't even know what the name is for that. It literally looks like a
just
fucking
Adam's-
ocean. No, it looks like fat rolls.
I'll tell you what. We talked about this. I keep having self-doubt, but I'm like, no, these are badass, dude. I really like the curliness aspect of the curls
Yes.
and how they curl.
You need to grow your hair out long like us, dude.
I don't know about as long as you guys, but I'm gonna keep it going and see how it
Don't
goes.
grow
man.
it out like us.
I think
Yeah, that's too-
Matt would look good.
That'll be a fro, dude.
No, it would.
It might drop
Ours,
eventually.
yeah, but it'll be
I've seen-
weird. It'll look sappy. It'll be like thick right here, and then it'll
Not
just
once it
go
gets
down.
long.
Well,
Yeah,
someone
just
said if
lay
once it
out.
gets long enough, I should do a man bun.
You need to.
Exactly.
No, you don't think so?
You
Dude,
need.
he's a rock star.
We'll
He
see
needs
what
to
happens.
Shake that
We're gonna-
shit.
I'm gonna
No,
go
he
with it.
needs to be that length of the dude in the Game of Thrones.
Yes.
That was way longer than that. That
think
was
so?
like this.
No, you
like
didn't.
that was like when my hair was like this. Like it was like down, or your hair would be like down
Right.
to here. Because it was like combed over, but like it went like right behind the ear.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was dope.
That needs to be your length. Because after that, it's gonna be fro.
No, once it gets long.
What's
You're
his
gonna look
name?
like Carrot Top.
You should just
Rob
grow it
Stark.
and see what it looks like.
You wanna
When
see-
you
Yeah,
don't
let's
like
take it day by day.
Okay,
exactly.
you have the same hair as Carrot Top. Like when it comes to curls,
I know that's what I don't want. I don't
And
want no
then-
carrot top shit.
that's what it's gonna look. This is what he's gonna look like, dog.
Let me-
Sideshow Bob shit. Yeah, dude, that looks pretty dope actually.
It does.
Okay, that does look
His
better.
hair's
looks
not
pretty
that
sick,
damn
actually.
curly.
You know,
It
one
is.
day at a time,
That's kind of
dude.
what my,
That is curly as
mine
fuck.
kind of looks
dude.
like that in the back at least. When my
Yours are
mine.
way.
Yours is
different.
straight, dude. Look at those. Not straight, but
When mine
like,
was that length, though, it was that curly in the back, not on top though.
maybe I'll grow a mullet. Just
You would rock a sick curly mullet.
curly mullet like Danny McBride,
Dude.
It's like
That'd be badass. You should do that for a little bit.
that would be.
You
awesome.
look like you would have a sick mullet.
We should all get perms.
That's good perm, guys.
Once.
Podcast perm day.
Doesn't it like burn your hair?
Yeah, I think it fucks
Yeah.
your hair up.
It's so funny when we're working, or not working, but there's so many girls that have been like, "What do you guys do with your hair?" It's like we don't fucking ruin our hair. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Very
I think-
true.
We
I
don't.
just
We
go get
don't.
in my car
We
the
don't
other
dye
day.
it 50 times.
This girl
Fry
got
with,
my
like-
car the other day. She's like, "Oh my god, I love your hair," and I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, because I don't do shit to it. I'll fuck it up."
Yeah.
Dude, this one time, this girl in my grade, she tried to do something to her hair. I don't know what happened. She tried to dye it or whatever, and they fried it. And they fried the fuck out of her hair. So they had to cut it like really short and then
Oh,
bleach it all
yeah.
blonde. And
So she looked like Eminem.
she looked like Eminem for a minute there.
Slim Shady.
And I felt really bad for her.
That's pretty hot sometimes.
It wasn't
Some
hot.
girls rock
Amber
that
Rose.
shit. That point up.
Amber Rose is bad. No, Amber Rose is
For some reason, I
Wiz
thought she was
Khalifa.
a
She
porn
was
star.
Wiz Khalifa.
Isn't she a
yeah,
porn star?
she's Wiz Khalifa baby mama.
But isn't she a porn star? Or am I making that up?
She has sex with a lot of rappers.
Oh.
It has been filmed, but she's not a porn star.
Oh.
No.
That would be a good porn star name, Amber Rose.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, she's
Totally sounds like a porn
she's
star
known
name.
for.
You guys ever heard that thing that your porn name is your middle name and then the street you were born on? So mine would be Lee Monroe. That's pretty good, right?
That is pretty good. I don't know what street I was born on.
Or like, what's your first like street you remember growing up?
Jacob
Michael
Country
Jackson.
Drive.
Jacob Country Drive.
Mine would be Michael Jackson.
That makes no sense.
His would be Michael Jackson.
For real? Oh god.
So to the world out there, just take
Jackson Street.
take your middle name and then take your street name that you grew up on, and that's your porn name.
Michael Jackson. I will take that.
There was
Jacob Country Drive.
Jacob Country Drive.
Austin literally just exploded. Okay, psycho. Oh man.
Came out my nose.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, so can I talk about some nerdy shit I've been nerding out about a little bit?
Yes.
I've been listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for People in a Hurry on audiobook. It's free on YouTube if anyone is interested. It's pretty solid. But there was this really interesting part today. They were talking about dark energy. Are you guys familiar with this term, dark energy?
Yes.
Okay. So dark energy is essentially matter, or it's something. We don't know what the fuck it is. And we discovered it in 1937. And since then, we have not gained any ground on figuring out what it is. But we can measure its effects on everything in the galaxy. We can measure, or in the universe rather. We can measure how fast things should be moving around the center of galaxies, and they move way faster. The only reason they can move way faster is there's some dark force that's driving that shit. So first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, do you have any theories as to what this dark energy might be?
I have no fucking clue.
Me neither, man. So one of the proposed theories... No, please.
We could, just because the color, is that why we're being so thrown off by something being energy?
No, see, the dark part is that we have no idea where it doesn't interact with light or any of our normal measurement tools in the visible spectrum, radio waves, ultraviolet waves, all that shit.
Yeah.
But it affects the matter that we do see based on gravity. It has gravity. So they call it dark because we have no idea what it is, haven't been able to gain any ground on what it is since 1937. And here's the other fucked up part. When they measure the entire observable universe, most of the things that they measure are dark energy. There's like 6 times more dark energy in the universe than there is normal matter.
It's most of
Mostly,
everything.
What the fuck?
I think that's like like a cell. It's like the gook.
It's the gook.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the fluids of a cell, and there's other, we're like the organs of something. It's just like the majority of us is water.
Yeah, very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the glue.
What I think, whatever it is, it just points to me like the beauty of how mysterious everything is,
Yeah.
Well,
we haven't even been to the next planet.
We have not been to the next planet yet, but we're getting there.
We're trying.
We're trying real hard to get to Mars. I think we'll see it in our lifetime.
Oh, for sure.
But
Elon Musk
is doing great things, dude.
I think he's actually just freaking out. I truly think he's freaking out. I've seen it on Joe Rogan, his demeanor. There was somebody that was being interviewed that worked with him for SpaceX, and he was like the second or third guy down. And he's like, Elon wakes up every single day and his main goal is to get human beings off of Earth. And I was like, why? Why isn't he in such a hurry? Because I think he sees a lot. He even said, he's like, on Joe Rogan, he's like, I'm not an optimistic, unfortunately. I'm a pessimistic. And the knowledge he knows, the hands he's shaking hands with the people. So I feel like he knows, he sees scary things happening. But it's better to be an optimist and right than a pessimist optimist and wrong and a pessimist right.
Better to be a pessimist and wrong than an optimist. Or I see
pessimist and right.
Yes.
Than an optimist and wrong.
I see what you're saying. Wait.
That's right.
I think it's better to be...
No, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Better to be a pessimist and right than be an optimist and be wrong.
Yes. Because you're already a pessimist and it's going wrong. That'd be terrible. But if you're an optimist and it's like, oh, now it's going wrong, it's like, I've been living my life. It's good.
Well, the pessimist prepares.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yes.
Because they're preparing for things that they are...
Well, that affects
thinking are going to happen negatively.
Yes, but like that affects you negatively in this moment because you're an optimist. It's like ignorantly blissful.
This is true.
Yes.
When I see Elon Musk freaking out in the manner that he is, and combine that with that very eerie radio announcement I heard the other day, it encouraging families to have an escape plan and know what to do when Armageddon fucking happens, I'm pretty sure that we're about to get hit by a giant asteroid or something.
When?
I don't know when.
What'd you hear on the radio?
Dude, the other day I thought I said this on one of the recent podcasts, but I was driving, and I think it was because of the fires, as I really sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
But I heard this radio announcement while I was listening to the comedy channel on the radio, and it was like, you never know what might happen. Like, be sure that your family plan has a meeting point in case your house gets messed up, or that you have an escape plan, and that you have supplies for things in case things go wrong. I don't know. It seemed like very get ready for the end of the world type thing.
Think of this worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
We're breaking records every year with natural disasters. We have the ruler of the most powerful country is a fucking jackass and incites hate on top of everything that's bad that's happening. Like, we have the worst person ever to be president, especially at this time.
Yes.
Like, 10 years ago, Donald Trump, we could survive, but
not
what is happening right now? Like,
he
this is
doesn't
like
know how to handle.
This is fucked.
It is.
Yes.
We're going in a horrible direction with our presidential shit. Now we have Biden or him next, which is
and that's we're peasants. We're specks. Guess what? We didn't even vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump lost the votes.
I know.
And guess what?
He still won.
Yes. Why?
Isn't it?
Do you think it's just people that choose, or is there some shit behind closed doors that we don't fucking know?
Isn't it like because there's like a bigger vote that actually matters? And
the electoral college.
Yeah, and we don't really matter.
It's government officials.
Like,
so it's like you don't even choose.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, to defend the electoral college, though, like the reason it's there is like
for the idea.
If it was based on
you.
Well, if it was based, it's not even all right. If it was based on pure population, Rhode Island would be worth like 0.001 points, and so they like up these point values of places that have less population but are still parts of the country because their viewpoint and their experience still matters because they're still part of the whole, So there is actually a good reason for it.
I see it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't fully see it. I think if the large population, if you, I forget the term I'm looking for, but if you are this type of person, you think that the best good being done is the greatest good for the largest amount of people. And if, in theory, that should be the population vote,
Yeah.
But there's aspects to our society that need to function. Like, we need a lot of farmland to feed everyone. Mm-hmm. And so those farmers, even though they make up less of the population, they still matter because we need them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Even though all those people in cities are like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that shit. I remember learning in school.
I fucking cheated my way through all the that shit.
Cheater. Loser.
Dude, for the Constitution test, my senior year,
I hated
this
that
girl
shit.
fucking stole the Constitution test out of our teacher's desk and fucking made copies and handed out to the entire fucking senior class. So we all like averaged as a class above like a 95%. I'm pretty sure.
No one got in trouble?
No, because we did. The teacher never found out, and then we make these skits at the end of the year, pretty much. And so one of our senior skits was, the girl stealing the test out of the desk.
And then she found out.
It was Mr. Wilson. That this Karen Hinman girl stole it out of Mr. Wilson's desk when he left the class real quick and took a picture or some shit of the whole test. So yeah, the entire senior class had the test.
Karen, you bitch!
I cheated on every test.
Dude,
every test.
I worked hard.
I would do anything. I would have it on my phone.
Same.
I would have it written on me.
I worked harder at cheating than I did studying, and then when I got in college, it was an eye opener. And then I studied my ass off, and I still sucked at tests. And then I realized college wasn't for me.
Yeah, I hated.
I studied
school.
my ass off, and I still get like C's.
I don't know about you guys. Obviously not for you, but I felt like anytime my eyes moved away from my paper, I was instantly like an alarm was gonna go off or something. Like I couldn't cheat. I just I felt like I was.
I cheated my ass off.
One time in college, though, during math class, during this math test, I had my phone out, and I was trying to like look at pictures that I had, and my fucking Siri went off, of course, and so Siri started asking me a question, and so my teacher fucking like walked right down my row, but I had like long sleeves on like this, so I slipped my phone through here and still had my like hand under my desk and just played it off, and she literally walks to my desk and goes like this, oh sorry, and like looks under my desk, and then since my phone was in my sleeve, she didn't see it, and I got away with it and got like an A on the test.
Wow. I hope you guys are proud.
I am very proud.
I am proud.
I didn't cheat my way through
I
music
cared about
school,
one
though.
thing, and that was football. I didn't care about anything
Mine was
else.
wrestling.
Football and track. That's all I cared about. So I needed to get good enough grades to play football.
To play in the NFL.
Yeah, I thought so at one point. I was not that good. Not that good at all.
We all have that dream.
I took both my ACT tests. I took it twice, high as fuck both times. I did really good.
Oh my god!
I
when I took my ACTs, the first time I did Adderall, and I was high as fuck. I ended up fucking throwing up a shit ton.
Perfect.
It was terrible. I snorted it too.
That's so you're probably sniffling too the whole time. Nose is on fire.
Dude,
You snorted a controlled substance?
Tyler, how
yes,
dare
I
you.
did, but I do not do that anymore.
Dude,
Just
I
kidding.
love Adderall.
Anyways,
It really helps me focus though. Like I don't abuse it in that way.
yeah.
Like,
I mean-
I feel like I actually need it, but I just don't go to the doctor and get it.
A lot of writers like say they can't write without Adderall.
Really, I can see
Yeah.
that. Dude, when I'm on Adderall, I study so hard.
Yeah. And it's such a weird balance of like seeing aspects of expanding your mind while doing substances, but also it's a double-edged sword. There's
It
pros
is.
and cons to everything.
Agreed.
Besides being sober, obviously, because you're not
But-
hurting your body.
Yeah.
Then
there's a
I
con
write
of
better.
not being
I
able
write
to
better
expand.
sober. I forgot.
It just depends
what
on
I
the mind
saw.
state almost.
Yeah.
There was some doctor that worked for some university, very credible, renowned dude, and he did some study, and he put out this report that if you take it just by the number of hospital visits and deaths, that riding a horse is 1,000 times more dangerous than eating ecstasy. And so he came out with this report, and he got negative backlash saying that he was promoting, drug use or whatever. But that's just the thing, is that as a sovereign adult, you should be able to make a decision. There are risks, possible benefits,
Yeah.
and you should be allowed to take that risk if you choose to do so on your own time.
Yeah.
And just the fact that people get threatened by a fact
Yeah.
that it's 1,000 times
It's
more
a fact.
dangerous. This is a fact,
This is a fact.
And
That's
but wouldn't people say riding a horse? That sounds like a much more wholesome activity than
Yeah.
eating ecstasy,
Yeah.
a fucking fact.
But that is
we
a
can't.
fact.
People
People
can't
get
handle the
knocked off
truth.
horses all the time and shit.
It's very dangerous.
It is.
You
You
can't
can't
even
ride
handle
those
the
horses.
truth, though. Just
People can't handle the truth because they have this paradigm that they've grown up with their entire life, which is drugs are bad,
Yeah.
and they're dangerous, and you can die from them, which is true. You
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of possible benefit, as we're seeing with, all the research being done on MDMA with PTSD studies. They're literally giving people ecstasy, not ecstasy,
Acid with depression.
but
is
yeah,
another thing.
end of life.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms, end of life, anxiety, and
Yep.
we're seeing amazing results. Thank God people are finally being open to studying something rather than just being closed-minded about what they've been told their whole lives.
Yep.
But let's actually sit down and let's look at this
Let's
like
look at the
adults.
facts.
As
Yeah.
adults.
As
Let's
all
sit
we're all
down.
adults here.
I'm telling you facts, and you have an opinion about something, but I'm telling you
But
facts.
let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Let me hear your side. I'll
back
tell
to
you
the-
my side.
Back to the drug thing. That's another thing where we talk about like people caring so much. Like when it comes to the drug battle or the drug war.
The drug war, yeah.
Drug war. It's like it's never gonna. A person's gonna do what he wants to do or she wants to do whenever he or she wants, and there can be benefits from that too. And you can't
make everything.
There's
legal.
so many.
Yep.
Well, we've had
People. It'll actually go down.
yeah, but thankfully we do have this new progression.
Yes.
Forward,
Yes.
Finally.
you know? Thank God. You know.
People
It'll
like
be interesting to see what like the laws are in like 20 years for like certain drugs.
And
Like
it's so
acid,
normal.
I could see like almost in a way acid becoming decriminalized.
mushrooms already are.
Exactly.
In
Acid
Colorado, at least.
would be next then.
Yeah, weed. I think weed is on the ballot actually to be nationally
National.
legal.
Yeah.
Not as, but state, it'll still be legal
And
in certain states.
we said this at the last podcast, but just like the blink of the eye, like I just remember if I was smoking weed 15 years ago, I would be a fucking criminal, man, in the eyes of parents.
Yep.
You don't want, and now I guarantee you, I don't even know what high school is like right now. I think parents, it's got to be so much more lax when it comes to the society norm of finding out a kid smokes weed now.
Yeah.
Compared to when we were kids.
Well, think about how strict cell phones were when we were in school, and now I feel like
Well,
they've
no, it's-
realized
you need a
every
cell phone.
kid has a phone and they're going to be on it, whether the teacher tells them not to. So I feel like I realized in a lot of classes it's became so relaxed that your phone's out and that you're on it because it's like that kid's either going to learn it.
Well,
or
because
not.
of school shootings, it's now required that kids are allowed to keep their phones.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
interesting.
just like,
Yeah. I think that shows the ignorance of people too, of how fast things change. Like we've always been kind of the same. We've always smoked weed. We've always had this outlook, pretty much. You know, I never got it. You know, it's like I want to get high, and it.
But now we're contradicting ourselves because earlier in the podcast we said that we're always changing people and that we're never this. But I know what you're saying. Core values have not changed.
No,
some core
we
values
change. Obviously, I mean, I've changed. I mean,
Yeah,
sure.
I
but,
was just being.
but when it comes to the things we're talking about,
like,
like people, I never gave one aspect that is less, and I never gave a fuck what other people did.
yeah.
And there's all these people that it was fucking. You were the devil lettuce smoker, and you're gonna get my kid high. He's gonna start listening to rock and roll music, and then blink your eye, and then it's just like, oh, now it's acceptable.
yeah.
well, we were talking about shit being laced, like drugs being laced earlier. Like, that's something I'm standing by. No one fucking laces weed, and if you're getting laced weed,
Dude,
I don't know who you're getting weed from.
there's been weed in Boulder that's been laced with fentanyl.
Are you kidding me? Who is doing
I want to
that?
hear. I want to see these
insane.
news sources too, man. There's so much fake news.
There is.
I see. There's just so many articles that people talk about. And
That's
it's just
true.
like,
I once saw
don't
an-
know what the fuck is real.
I once saw an
look at
article
it.
in the Alberta newspaper. It was like, kids these days are smoking up to 3 to 4 joints a day, which is equivalent to, what did they say? Which is equivalent to 5 to 6 blunts. There was something ridiculous like that. And I was like,
What joints
first
are
of
they
all,
smoking?
yeah, I was like, joints are smaller than blunts. That doesn't make any sense.
They use those
They're
raws.
less,
that are like-
harmful, they're less harmful for you than blunts.
It was the most uninformed, out of touch
Yeah.
article about drug use I've ever seen in my life.
I see mostly trash now when it comes to news articles. Like you got to look deep into that shit.
Well, see, it's funny because I find the opposite, but I think it's because I'm so involved in like MAPS. I talk about a lot. That's a multidisciplinary association for psychedelic studies.
Yeah.
They're always talking about great information about
Yeah.
things I was mentioning. These studies with PTSD and things like that. These conferences that they're happening or are happening between people that are in that scene. And I was going to say that too. Like, although it happens in the blink of an eye, I remember hearing the guy, the leader of MAPS, Rick Doblin's his name, but he's been pushing this since the 70s, you know? He had his experience that changed
Because he
his
knows
life.
to change the world.
Yeah, he had his experience that changed his life, and he dedicated his life to it. And he's very credible person, and he's been pushing it down the proper paths though, which is the government.
Yeah.
And it's like just now we're finally starting to break through.
But anything outside of that is trash.
Yeah, well,
Besides like credible sources.
of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
of
So like,
course.
but like
Anything outside of credible sources is
but
trash.
it's mostly trash. Anybody can make a news article now. There's just
Yeah.
fake websites, anything, but you got to search for organizations like that.
Joe Rogan had a really good podcast with one guy that was a doctor that uses marijuana for various treatments that he does, and he's in Canada. And the other guy was a huge advocate against marijuana. And so they were both extremely intelligent and had good information and good arguments, you know. I still obviously am on the side of marijuana use, but it did make me realize that, you know, there's a lot of people though that maybe it's not meant for. Like there's a lot of shit coming out about suicidal tendencies after edible use, things like that.
Because they just got too high.
Fair enough, but that's the thing.
Dude,
a chemical can have a negative
I picked up this
result
dude
on your brain.
Picked up this dude the other day from the hospital during Lyft, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I hit a dab last night, and it's the last thing I remember."
That's exactly what I'm talking
like,
about.
What'd you do? Get too high?
Paranoia,
I was like,
schizophrenic
hopefully
breaks.
it wasn't laced with anything. He's like, "No, man, I don't think it was. I think I just got too high." And I'm like, been there.
yes, schizophrenic breaks. People have had psychotic breaks on marijuana. Like, it's not the harmless drug that I always thought it was. That's for sure, you know. But at the same time,
At your own risk.
at your own risk, exactly. If we're truly
Let me hit
if
this
we're
real
truly
quick.
truly the
Risk is
freest
big.
country in the world, then we should be able to do that.
If you want to do heroin, I don't want you
Yeah.
to do heroin, but I'm not going to stop you, or even think I'm somebody to tell you can't do heroin.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll advise you not to, but I'm not gonna be like,
I'll
you
beg
can't.
I'll beg you not to.
But I'm not gonna be like, you
lock you in a
can't.
cage for 10 years.
Yeah, and force you not to.
You know.
Like,
I
you're
will.
gonna-
All right, we are
Well,
at
Yeah, let's go ahead and
85 minutes.
let's call her.
You're in 85 minutes.
Privileged Cavemen.
Privileged Cavemen. Follow
talking to
us
you guys.
on Apple Music and YouTube. Privileged Cavemen.
Spotify.
Spotify also. Thanks
Oh
for
yeah,
tuning
Spotify.
Love you.
in. Spotify.
See you guys.
Peace, bitches.
Peace.